Okay, let's do this. Hello, everybody. Tech Stack. Let's do this. Let's grab Trello. I really didn't get to work on this at all yesterday. I think that might be the first day this year, like literally this year. I didn't get to work on it at all for a whole day. But those days are gonna happen, right? It's part of life. So we've got neutral NPCs. That's right. I was building a neutral NPC last time I was streaming. He's half baked. That's half baked. I don't know, let's just look around the game. Let's play the game. Let's see what inspires me for tonight, right? Maybe we'll make a dungeon room for the boss. I don't know. And they can do more animations for him. That makes a lot of sense. Come on, play. Oh, right. I probably have to do the menu thing. So let's do that. Let's focus on creating a room, or so this is where it's going to trip me up. I've been reading into and looking into ways to use the Unity editor to make things easier for you. You can probably see I've got an example, right? So I created another menu up there. And I've got this enum thing I was gonna start creating, and then I'm like, it's probably not worth it to create the enum. But what I'm thinking is just having the ability to type in a few things, like the X or the width and height, for example, and maybe select from a list the dungeon type, right? So that I can get the right color of tile sets would be very helpful for me to set up the border of the room, the ground, things like that, because I'm going to do that a lot in this, right? So if the dungeons are big, there's going to be a lot of dungeon rooms, and each one of those dungeon rooms needs to be built initially. I think that's a good way of doing it, right? So maybe we'll do that once Unity ever decides to actually play this and give me the error message it's going to give me. Maybe we'll set up an editor window that lets us create a dungeon room really fast. Hey, there we go. Finally. It's the completely wrong scene, but hey. So let's do this so that we know we're right. Let's go to our dev scene, right? Prefab creation. We're gonna grade out our Unity editor script stuff. So editors. We're gonna create a new one. C#. And it's gonna say what? Dungeon startup window. Setup window. Okay, I'm gonna open that. Yeah, I think this will be good. I just want to give it a width and a height, and I want it to set the tile maps up for me. Come on, Visual Studio. So this is gonna inherit editor window. And we need to do using Unity engine, Unity editor, right? Neither one of these are really going to be needed, I don't think. We will want to create a public static void editor window. No, wait, dungeon setup window. Hey, Potato, how's it going? Call open dungeon static window, and then we'll do editor window dot get window type of dungeon setup window. Boom. And we'll get this this. We'll do menu. Name is going to be what? Tools. Dungeon. Because I could see myself creating lots of these. Setup. Okay. Oh, we need to write parenthesis there. Go like this, go like that. So it starts compiling this in the background. There we go. Dungeon setup. Perfect. So let's go ahead and click it, I guess. We'll get the window. There it is. We'll close this one. And grab this one, put it over here. And we're going to need a void on GUI layout. That's give me GUI. So I've got this extension for Visual Studio that cleans up the code, right? It formats and everything. And one of my formatting options is removing the using statements, and I don't know if I like that because that's the second time today where it's removed it on me, the Unity Engine one, and I've really wanted it to stay like that. I type it in using Unity Engine, and if I hit save right now, it's going to get rid of it because it's not used yet. But yet, my whole intention is to come down here and use it. GUI layout. So without that using a statement, I can't use this. So we'll say label first, right? We'll give it a label for this field. The field is going to be what? Width. Okay. And GUI layout. Oh, get my whole how to program. There we go. GUI layout dot text field. Can we do float field? No. About integer? No. Text field. Huh. I wonder how you can specify it as a specific type. Because all these are going to return string. I don't really want a string. GUI layout dot range slider. A horizontal slider that can be dragged to change the value between the min and the max. Sure. We'll give it like really high values. 0. That's the initial value, right? So let's say 10, 0, 500. So that'd be like really hard to use. We'll do this again. Call this one height. There we go. And this will be, what's this return, a float or an int? It's a float. Awesome. Float. Width. Height. Okay, and then GUI button. Dot button. Let's say if around this. And the button we're going to create is to init. I don't know. Doesn't really matter what it's called. And basically we're going to take the width and the height and we're going to look at our tile map, which we need to get a reference to. And build the layer, build the thing out, right? So we'll set the ground layer. Yeah, we'll set the ground layer, its tile. We'll set the border tiles. And that should be it. So I might need to set those tiles through this. I don't know if there's a GUI layout dot tile. So how are those tiles set up then? So let's see. So if we go to tile editor, what type of field are they? Look at that. It doesn't show our number though. I kind of want it to show the number. Why is it not moving? Is it compiling? What? To just crash? Yeah, Unity is not responding. Crash Unity in like 5 lines of code. How's that even possible? There's nothing to that code to loop or anything. Okay, so let's get attached to Unity. Por favor. Pause. Continue. Let's okay, so it is running the code. Oh wow, that was extremely slow. It was loading the tile map. These tile palettes, and they take forever to load anymore. That's crazy. Seems like it's getting worse. Okay, so dungeon. Wasn't my code. That's crazy. Okay, so let's go like this one and look at the inspector. So it's a tile. It is tile based, huh? What does Gui Layout have? Does there a Gui Layout? Oh, we gotta stop it right here. Gui Layout. Game object? No. Transform? No. Edit or layout. Game object. Transform. Tile. No. None of that works. Inspector tile bar. There's probably like a specific name for it. Like this enum pop-up gives you a drop-down list basically. What would be for the field? A double field. Double values, okay. So what, does Gui Layout have that? Gui double. No, it does not. So only editor layout has those simple class types. Float. That's what I want, right? Or does this give you an option to go Gui Layout options? Display specific extra layout properties. Gui style thumb. It's an array. Gui layout option dot. It's not an enum. If we do new. Okay. Float field. Let's just do that. Spelled in the same case though. And then take that, make it outside of the method. That way it is across different methods. A private, not a local variable, basically. Okay, so it should persist across runs of that. So I'm thinking if you move the slider. Yeah, so 10, if I move the slider now. Come on. Huh. Height equals that, I guess, would help, huh? Right? Oh wait, saves it. Based on whatever it gets set to. I'm surprised I can't move these though. Yeah, something's not working like I expect it to. Okay, time to research. Gui Layout dot, what's it called? Horizontal slider. Horizontal slider value. Oh, we hard coded the 10 in there. Derp. That's why it wouldn't let us change it. Done compiling? Yes, you are. There we go. And we got a nice little value there. If we set this to, say, 80, whatever, yeah, the slider jumps. Nice. So we can type it in or use the sliders. Oh, that slider's not updating, partly because I got my cursor in that field. There we go. Cool. That was a very efficient search. Okay, so then buttons needs to call another method that's actually going to set this stuff up, but we still need to figure out how to do like a tile set. Crap. So we need a GUI layout reference to like another object. Not sure what it should be. Below the stone dove didn't make their stream goal, their follower goal. Text area. So how does this work here for selecting this? Can I edit your script? I cannot. But it's certainly filtering the type of assets that it's doing because this is just tiles. Yeah, they're all just tiles. So how is that? Select tile base. Oh, tile base is what it's called. Okay. Does that give us anything? Editor GUI layout dot tile base. Nope. The other one. GUI layout dot tile. Okay, is it something with the 2D extras then that we could somehow reuse? 2D extras, assets, tile map, tiles, terrain tile, scripts. Let's look at the rule tile script. There we go, there's an editor for it. But this is going to take the image, not the rule. The rule override, though, should take another... what's the word for it? Another object. Okay, so this is a custom editor for rule override. And it's taking a rule override tile. Property field. Okay. Serialized objects is finding the M tile on it. It's taking the property string. It's going to be this property field stuff. So let's look this up. Let's also in here look for M tile. It's a field on the object. Okay. What's telling it that it's looking for a specific... Looking for this, right? This dot M rule tile. Which in this is going to be M rule tile, right? Or the M tile. Guys, I don't remember the name of it. Crap. M tile. Okay. And then we can go up here. Go F12. And then do this. So it is a field in this. And it's defined as a rule tile, which is based off of tile. Okay. Property field. Description. Makes a field for serialized property. When you use this when you want to customize the look of the options for a game object in the inspector. Use this to create the fields for the serialized properties. More information on changing the editor is available in the editor section. Yeah. So this is the game object script. And this is the details about it. Okay, so if we go back to tile, rule tile, and tile base, so if we define M tile, right? M tile is not defined in here, it's defined in its parent, I bet. Taking a guess here. F12. Just a scriptable object. Interesting. So where is M tile then? Wouldn't be in that. It's gonna be... Huh. Okay. I need to have a reference to the tile. So, how do you set what the property was? Right. GUI content, there we are. So it's setting a property field. That's probably what we need to be closer to. So editor GUI layout, and it's dot property field, and then the serialized property, which is mtile, which we need to define in our class here. Serialized property mtile. Okay, and then new GUI content, and this takes what? Tile base? That's not clear. I'm gonna look up GUI content. The constants of GUI element works closely in relation with GUI style. GUI content defines what to render, and GUI style defines how to render it. Okay then. I get these, but I don't know what to put for the tile. Perhaps we need to look at the tile rule again for field property this time instead of the find property or property field. Wait, it was this. Where you defined that. You are just a thing. Okay. Scriptable object thing. Unity editor tile custom editor tile base. Tasman, yep. In inspector. Probably easy if we're setting up a regular inspector with that as a game object. I think it's probably defined properly, but with doing a custom editor window altogether, it's different. This isn't about tiles, scriptable tiles. An object field, maybe? Closer. Type of. I'm gonna try that. I'm kind of at a loss for what else to try. Object field. The field is what? So this will be our tile. And it's going to be type of tile base. Okay, where's tile base live? Tile maps. Okay, and then the third field. Allows scene object doesn't matter. I am trying to... Yeah, I'm tinkering with the editor basically, but what I'm trying to do, I've got the window set up. I want to type in a width and a height and then hit init, and it gives me my default dungeon layout, right? Where it updates the tile map to basically be a rectangle in that shape. What I'm stuck on at the moment is how to get the inspector to show the right type of field for me to choose my tiles that I want to be like the border tile and the top border tile and so on, right? I don't know how to display or reference tiles in the editor. Like, it just doesn't... I'm not getting it. Not yet, at least. So that's why I tried an object field of a specific type, but I'm getting this. So I'm not sure what's up. Like, if it was just a regular game object, I'm assuming. Right, there's a tile-based data type. But, like, how do you tell the inspector... So, like this. Like, if you go to the tile palette and select one using this tool and double-click on it, it takes you to this screen, which is the grid selection. Can't edit the script, can I? No, I can't. And it's got this field here. This is the tile that represents that, right? So how does this object work in the editor? Because when I click this here, it only lists tiles. That's what I want. I want to get a list of all the tiles, or just drag one in there and select what I want. And that's what I'm after, right? Like, I know on some things you can right click and it'll tell you what it is in the inspector. Like, you can edit script and then see Unity's code, but this one it doesn't let you. Click the gear, reset. And that's just your preset stuff. Yeah. Good thought, though. So somewhere in Unity, there is a custom inspector defined for the type of grid selections. And if I can get to that, I'll know what to do, right? Like, I'll know what field it is in the either editor GUI layout or GUI layout that I need to define to allow me to choose one. And then once I've chosen one, I can use that tile to populate the tile map. At least that's the idea. Because, like, I envision my game having potentially 100 different dungeon rooms in it, right? So by doing this, I just type in the numbers of the size of the room, and it sets up probably 4 or 5 different types of tiles for me. Declare a variable called serialized field tile base, the thing. Okay. So I started going down serialized properties. But you're saying... Okay, so private tile base. I'll call it TB for now. And you're saying give it a attribute like this, serialized field. Okay. And then it was try passing TB to what? That? See, it's not gonna take that because it wants a... Oh, it's deprecated too. Wait, what did it say? Why is it deprecated? What's it replaced by? Doesn't say. All IDEs should be required to say what the method is that is deprecating another, like what the replacement is. So, like, there's all these primitive data types that are defined already, but there's nothing for something custom. So is this an editor and inspector editor thing? This particular editor script I've got going is an editor window. So it's its own custom window. Just because it's not going to relate to a specific game object. It's just something that when I go into a new scene, I'm going to click this button once I've set up like the grid and stuff. I guess I could do it on the grid. That would work. Or the tile map itself. I was hoping to not have to like go to a specific tile map and say set this tile map up, then set the, because I've got multiples, right? So one's the floor, one's the walls, collisions, right? Things like that. So I don't want to have to go to that level of detail if I can avoid it. And my thought process is also like, once I get this working, then I can make prefab objects, prefab tile map sections, right? That type of thing, maybe? And then paste them in. So like, if I get a stairs on a wall kind of thing, like I can get those all predefined and then just paste it in there for me. So instead of going like this and just selecting a big area and it paste it in on the tile map I have selected, I can say, give me my wall and stair on each of the layers they need to be on and paste them in. That's more long-term, though. I want to get just the room going. Wait, we have a tile map base. What am I talking about? How did we do this? Oh, you're a genius. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome, man. Thank you. I was expecting to have to give it the Gui Layout stuff, right? Like to tell it where it should go. Oh, yes. Now how do I give it a label though? It's coming in after the ones I define. Whoa. Wait a second. Okay, TB. It's gone now. Okay, what was the last thing that was successfully... This. This. Yes. Awesome. So I can add that label then. Wall top. North wall top. Bottom. Yeah, and I just wasn't getting that this line was what triggered it to come up. It's not that it's serialized, it's that it's this and it's serialized caused it to come up correctly. So I was a little slow there. And then we want to do this again, but for bottom. It's like, I'm going to need a lot of these to get this to work, but it's okay. It's all one-time setup. Boom. Okay, so... how am I going to select them then? Can I drag from here? Drag from here? No. Let's do this. No, it didn't save. It didn't save because I didn't tell it to save. Hey, Bluestone. Sorry, man. Sorry you didn't get your goal. In fact, if anybody's watching is not following Below the Stone, you should just follow him right now. He's so close to his goal. Yes, there we go. You're welcome, man. Thing is, I grabbed the wrong tile. Let me grab that one. This is not very visual, but that's okay. So now the real question is, if I save this and close Unity and open it back up, does it persist? I would think that it would, but I don't know for sure. Oh, that stinks, man. Please persist. I don't want to have to write a special thing that writes out the data. Because if it doesn't persist between closings of Unity and I have to set that up every time, I'm not sure it's going to be worth it. Oh, half of it persisted. Makes sense. Them darn computers, they do exactly what you tell them to do. Save. So I'm going to close the window, open the window, and it's gone. But, is there? There is not. I was wondering if I could do like that, like you can in an inspector. Where it's this, right? This button where you can do the presets. That's new to me. Okay then. We're just gonna close that before I screw something up there. Shoot. So I wouldn't ever be able to close the window. I know me, I'm going to. Even if it's not intended. But it persisted between closing Unity. That's what's really got me puzzled. Oh, I bet because... No. Let's close Unity again and see if it's still saved. It might overwrite it with being open, but... Unity custom editor window persist state. Exactly what I want to ask. Use Unity serialization combined with JSON utility and editor prefs to save your fields and then load them up in just 4 lines. Okay. Reading all of this, that sounds like it'd be more than 4 lines. And seeing that it's 30 lines of code, I'm not sure how that exactly works. On enable, we get the string, so an example window, JSON utilities to JSON, this false. Then we apply them to this window, which is ready, JSON from. So it's basically writing it out to an editor preference. I don't get how this works though. Several scriptable objects and store them in your project's resources folder. Oh, that'd be interesting. If I set up a scriptable object that contained all the tiles, then I could have different scriptable objects and then just choose which one I want to load. That might be best because then I could save multiples of them, right? I need to start using scriptable objects. I have neglected using them just from lack of knowledge of them, but they're turning out more and more to be something that's going to be very useful. Useful. Yeah, and this is the same thing that guy's saying. I don't know what this JSON utility is. That like a using? Yeah, I didn't think so. Scriptable objects. How would I do that? So then, like, this becomes one serializable field of a scriptable object reference? I choose the script, and then the script does all the heavy lifting. Okay, let's try it. We're going down even more of a bunny hole here with this one. So I've never done scriptable objects. Fabs. Scripts. Create a folder. Scriptable objects. Then create another folder. Tile. Dungeon. Room. Gen. I don't know. Create. I think there's a option for it somewhere, right? No, the old versions of Unity, you have to jump through hoops to do it. Is it just a C# script and then you just start changing it to say scriptable objects and a model behavior? Desert dungeon. Yeah. Scriptable object. Does that change you over here? It look different? Nope. Scriptable objects. Introduction to scriptable objects. Try that again. Yeah, so it's got a different icon. I thought it did. But they're just going off of scriptable objects. Is it because it needs that tag? Did I close it? Crap. Oh. There you go. Create asset menu. Is that what I need to do? Public class. Okay, asset menu. Right, because you need one class that controls it, right? And another one that actually builds it. It doesn't load. Is that just scriptable objects, or was that anything else? The page? It was scriptable objects. I'm not seeing it in there. Okay. Let's go back here. Come on, Unity. Your website's down? For real? It's not a 404. Right, and then I went to this one and it worked. And they're both on unity3d.com. It must be having server problems. Like Control F5? Nope, still didn't work. Scripted objects with data containing. So you do need to create a class for it. Scriptable objects, sure. Dungeon. Dungeon template? Save. Unity, where are you? Compile, please. Create scriptable objects, dungeon, there we go. And inspector, perfect. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, we know we need to do a public tile base. Tile base. Right, they're having server problems for sure, because Error 500 is not 404 found not found, right? It's weird. Unity engine. Tile maps, there we go. Tile base, right? Tile base. I hate that thing using Unity engine. I've got this add-on for Visual Studio, and it cleans up your code, including unused using statements. Yeah. So when you do that and then hit save right away, it gets rid of it. Until you've used it somewhere, and then it's fine. It keeps it. Okay, so tile base, and we're going to say north top wall. We're getting a whole bunch of these. North bottom wall. North west corner wall. Let's see, northwest corner wall is the very corner piece, I guess. Gosh. So I'm gonna draw this out. My tiles are huge, right? They're 2 tiles wide to make a wall, basically. So I need to have this and this for the north wall. And I need to have those 4 for the corner here, these 4 for the corner there, and these 4 for the corner here, and these 4 for the corner there. I don't know how else to describe it. North, west. You know what? Let's grab that. There we go. East, southwest, southeast. And then we need to do basically that same thing for all the other directions and just say southeast and west. South, east, west. Southwest, northwest. I guess these are not needed and I need them different. West, west, east, east, right, left, right, left, So Andrew, here's an example of what this cleanup thing does. I got all those extra spaces in there. I save it. It collapses it down to just one space. So I have a tendency when I'm writing it to go like that, and it just causes a bunch of extra lines in your commit to GitHub. So keeps it clean. I think I've also got it set so if it's broken. No, I don't. Okay. If you got an if statement broken across lines, that'll work. Okay, so if I do this, and we go back to our project. There's no errors, good. Project. Create a new one. Scriptable object dungeon. We get all of these. Awesome. And then I just need to reference this in the editor window thing to fill them all in, and then I've got presets basically, right? So I could set one up that's a desert template. In fact, I'm going to do that. And that'll be my desert dungeon. And then we could reference all of those objects in our other code. In fact, we need more objects. Jeez. Public. Tile base. Ground. There. That should update, right? Or does it not impact the other scriptable objects? It does, cool. Now, the hard part of setting these all up. Tile map. Dungeon. Tile map. I want to lock you. I am working with this one for the dungeon. Or desert. How am I going to define these? One more. Still doesn't line up. Okay, so north wall. I can't drag it up there for real. It's not a tile. Crap. What if I created another inspector here? Change the one on the right. Go down here, select this one. Let's lock this one now. I select this. Can I drag this? Ah, dang it. Okay, I'm going to make this thing work. Project. I focus on you and I just drag you there. Boom. Good. In the northwest corner, this one. It's that one. And then the northeast is this one. Southwest would be number 32. And then the other corner, northwest, which is this one. And then this will be this one, should be the next number. 37. a south top wall. South bottom wall. Right. South wall northwest. Northeast. Southwest. Southeast. East corner. Northwest. So it'd be this one. East. I keep trying to drag it from the wrong thing. West wall, that'd be this wall, and it's the right side of it, so this one. This wall left. East wall. And then the ground, which we're gonna grab on this for the default. Okay, let's save. So that's all saved in the scriptable object, right? There's nothing to that that's required, I don't believe. Okay, let's get all that stuff away. Go back to our editor window code then, and we need to reference a... I'm gonna break it. I know I'm gonna break it. Oh, do I do it? Don't like the name of it, but we're gonna deal with it. So I have a feeling if I do it, it's gonna screw with this one. Can you edit the script in any way? You can. What's it do? It just takes you to this. Maybe I'll make that change after I do a commit to GitHub. Because I don't want to screw it up and reset all those things right now. I want to be quick at this. Okay, so let's go to our editor window stuff. This one. And instead of having these, we say, all right, and it's going to be dungeon layout. Get rid of this, get rid of this. We grab this, we say this here, and this becomes this, that, and this goes away. And we'll put the words dungeon layout there. Script double object. And this needs to be here too. Nope, desert dungeon. Now, can I plug my scriptable object in there once it's done compiling? Yes. Then we set this to whatever. It needs to be an integer, not a float, doesn't it? Can I do that? Float field. Int field. There we go. And these need to be ints. Oh, horizontal sliders that float only. We don't need it as a slider. I could cast it to an integer, right? We'll just lose some precision and I'm fine with that. Still don't like it? There we go. Once it compiles, that number should change to an integer, I would think. Oh, it goes to 0. Fine. You serious? It doesn't go anything? That one works. Oh, it's because my cursor was in there. Yeah, perfect. So now we need to set up that button when it does something. And we will call it create layout. Why that name? Because I picked it out of thin air. Public void that. And we're going to take our integers width and height for each, not for each, for x, int x equals 0 to x is less than width x plus plus. Do the same for y, only being height. Y, height, y. And we need to start getting references to the tile maps and all that. So how am I going to accomplish that, right? We could look through the entire game object, layers, system, thing. That's probably what we'll do. I'm going to create some other methods in here. So public void get tile map. And I'm going to grab one of my default scenes now that we're kind of done with this. Let's do the overworld. There we go. And I'm going to pass in a name to this tile map, I think. String name. And we're going to say game object. Do we want the game object returned, or do we want the tile map? Tile map. Using Unity engine.tile maps. That thing is so annoying. I need to turn that option off. Unity engine dot tile map. I want to save it again. I'm not going to save it. Don't save it yet. Can't save it. Tile map. There we go. Now I can save it. So game object, the uppercase one, dot find object. Is there by name of type? Find objects with tag. Sure. No, not tag. Find game objects of type. And we're going to say a tile map. Alright, that should give us all the game objects that have tile maps on them. So that should be an array of objects. Array of tile maps. So for each tile map, yeah, in that, boom. Okay, so it's not like that. I got too many programming languages jarring around in my head. Which one is it? C# for each example. That was right. Oh wow, there. T in. T.GameObject. dot name equals name, right? And we'll say if that return return else no else. We just got down there, so there's nothing else. Return null. Bingo. So we're gonna say get the tile map for the what do I call them? Ground. Tile map. This will be the wall one. No collision. We'll just call it wall. And then we're gonna need one more. Let's start with that. That's enough. So we're gonna set on each pass. We're gonna set ground dot tile set tile data. Is it tile data set tile? Yep. Okay. No arguments given the corresponding. Okay, so we need a position, which is a vector 3. Vector 3 int. That's new. Vector 3 int. Oh, it's only integers. That's what it is, probably, right? So new. Be efficient about this. I'm going to declare this here because we're going to use this a couple times for each tile potentially. So vector 3 int is going to be x comma y comma 0. I'm assuming that's y z coordinates, and we're going to call this vector 3 int. Come on, I'm used to a different ID completely. Position. And we're going to say tile base. And in this case, we're going to set the ground from this dungeon layout. Dot ground. Okay, let's try it. We're going to create a new scene here in a second. And we're going to set the size, the width, and the height. And we'll just click that button and see if it all goes to ground. If my mouse responds, there we go. Create scene. If I was really handy with this, I would create another button at the top that basically sets the grid, right? The grid and all of these objects. I need to get those as a prefab probably. And then I just instantiate the prefab, boom. Test dungeon tool. Okay, and let's go back to the overworld. I forgot to grab it. Copy it. Copy. Test dungeon tool. Paste. Really? Grid. Copy. Paste. And yes, I'm fully aware we pasted in a whole bunch of crap, right? Save, yeah. Okay, let's go into the tile map. Let's get a big old eraser tool. Get rid of everything. Go to interactions, get rid of everything. Collisions. Decorations. Let's do the ground because that's probably most of it. Top deco is probably the rest. Okay, where are you? What layer are you on? Are you in shadow? I never put anything in shadow. I stopped creating it even. I think those are ghost objects and they're not really there. So we're not going to monkey with it. And it... Oh, it worked! And it... Yes! 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 I want a great big room, please. Boom. Yes. Okay, now we need to set the walls up, which is basically going to be doing this for the correct wall for this situation, right? So we're going to do... No. We're going to do... Nope. We're going to do this with wall. And which tile from the wall is dependent on where we're at in the coordinate system. So I could do a lot of complex logic right here that drives that, or I could pass off the x, the y, the width, and the height to another method and have it calculated it, which I think is what I'm going to do. And we'll pass a dungeon layout. So public tile map. No, tile base. Get wall for position. And it's going to take a dungeon, desert dungeon, the stupidest name in the world. An X dungeon. And int X, int Y, int width, int height. Actually, I don't even really need to pass the width and height to it because I already have those as global variables here, private variables. Okay, and we need to do dungeon dot, and we're basically going to draw a great big if statement that drives which one of these walls we need. And we're going to start at 0, so we know if 0 for either one of these, we're at a wall. So I guess that needs to be part of it. We need a method that says is wall, maybe? Ooh, a method that says if it's a wall or if it's a wall edge. Because there's going to be two pieces of wall, right? The outer edge and the inner edge, or inner wall. Is that going to help us define it? Might. I don't know that it's going to. It's not going to be any more efficient than just doing a big if statement. So if x equals 0, then we know it's a wall, right? Because we're at our starting point. In fact, if x equals 0 and y equals 0, we know it's a corner specifically. And it's going to be the bottom left corner, I think. Right? Because in Unity, the positions go from... Let's see here. I create a new game object just for testing. Positions go up to the right on the X and up on the Y going up. Okay. So 0, 0 is going to be here. It's going to be the bottom southwest corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to say get wall for position. We're going to say it's going to be this dot wall. It's going to be the south west corner, southwest. Return that. Okay. If x equals 1, should be and. So we do else if, right? Should be an else. Make it slightly more efficient. And y equals 0, then it's going to be the southeast corner. And then if x equals 1 and y equals 1, that would be the northeast corner. And then if this equals 0 and that equals 1, that'd be the northwest corner. And then otherwise we're just going to return null. Because there's a lot more to do this, right? So I've got one corner defined. We need to basically have one for each one of these. We need to have an if condition for each one of these wall pieces. And we've only got like this so far. We're saving it. And then hit the button. And we did not define it somehow. So why? Did we get any errors? We did not. Is it because collision? No. Go back, go back, go back. Did I not call that? I did not. So we set it to ground. So instead, we need to call this. Comma x, comma y. There we go. That should do it. Boom. So then I need a big if statement that says if the x is greater than 1 and y is less than or is equal to 0, else if x is greater than 1 and x is less than width minus 2, it's a capital W, isn't it? And y is equal to 0. Wrong bracket. Then we're going to say return dungeon south wall south bottom wall. Boom. Ha! Yes! This is going to save me so much time. That's exactly right, too. And you left 2 spaces there. That's what I want. Okay, so then we do another one. And then that's going to equal 1. And we're going to say top wall. As soon as it compiles, I hit the button, we get another wall. Peace. very interesting that this is here still. It's a little concerning, but doesn't matter. Okay, so we got our bottom wall. Let's do the side wall, the left wall here, so that'd be the west wall. And we need to say if x equals 1, or equals 0, sorry, and y equals something greater than 1, and y is less than height minus 2. Then we put the west left wall. Don't you like all this? Double equal sign, please. Okay, and then we do right wall. And this will be when x equals 1. And I know, like, I'm at this point, like, I'm getting it. I know this is going to work. Fairly confident it's going to work. But I'm testing it because it's one of those things that's impossible to debug once you get them all done. Like, you'll have to break it back apart. So I'm testing it this way, piece by piece. Okay, and then we got to do the top corner. So our x would equal height minus 1 This is where I'm getting a little fuzzy on it. No, wait, not our height. X equals 0 still, but y would equal height minus 1. In that case, we use north corner northwest, right? Not sure if it's going to be here or here. That's why I'm testing it. That's right. So then we do -2. And that would be southwest. And then we do that same set. Well, we do 1 here again. And this will be our east. Oh. I didn't arrow off right away. Okay. And then we'll make sure it's working. Perfect. And we'll do this. No. We'll do... We need that portion of it, but x is greater than... Yeah, so... X is greater than 1, and that's this. We'll do 1 first. We'll do the north wall top. North wall. Top wall. And then we'll do -2. And that'll be bottom. And we need to have one more and statement in here for the x at the extremes. X is less than width -2. Top and bottom. Should give us this part. Yes. 3 more sections. Okay. So if else if x equals width minus 1 and y equals height minus 1, then we're going to return the northwest, northwest, northeast. North, corner, east, northeast. There we go. That should be this spot right here. Okay. Then we can do x minus 2, and that'll be the northwest. And then we can do all that again, but subtract 2 here, and that'll be south. Perfect. Okay. Tempted to take those 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and do the bottom right corner then, which would be south. Like that, right? Yep. So take the word south there, copy it, copy it, copy it, and it's going to be not that. We're going to go with either 0 or 1. This is the northern one, so it's going to be 1, 1, 0, 0. Awesome. And then we need 2 more. And it's going to be if x equals the width minus 1 and y is greater than 1. So it'll be the far right greater than 1 and y is less than height minus 2. Right? And that's going to be our east right wall. And the same thing, but minus 2 here will be the east left wall. Ah, I got him reversed. Now, is that because I defined them wrong? Yeah, I think I defined them wrong in the... I'm glad I only messed up on one. It'd been a lot harder if I did others. So let's lock that. It's the east, right, and left walls. Unlock this. The right side is... yeah, that's not right. So we want it to be here, and the left should be... no. It's the east. East. There we go. That's all it was. Now, the problem is, what happens if I do this? it just creates another room inside that other room. It doesn't clear it. Do we want that? Do we want it to clear it? We don't. Instead, I'm gonna have a button that clears it, that chooses to clear it, right? I want this to be flexible, because what if I wanted to do something like what I've just got set up here, right? So I create a bigger room and then I create a smaller room inside of it, and maybe I just have it generate this smaller room like this and cut off part of the wall or something so you can actually walk through it. Like it divides it for us. I think this is a tool to help me and me alone, right? So it can be funny. So let's create another button. And let's call this clear ground. Clear. And we're going to give it the name ground. Another one. And this one's going to be whatever that name was. Collision. And it looks like I need a static somewhere. So let's do that. A reference class. And we'll say public static string. What's the name of this? So ground tile map object name equals ground. Reference that there, and then we'll do one for the wall, and it'll be called collision. Okay, and we'll go back to this, and instead of saying wall, ground or reference dot that reference dot and by separating this out too, I could make a great big ground area, then make a small wall area inside of it by clearing the outer walls first. Capital AL. Okay, so now we need to create this, and this is going to be public void that name string name, and we're going to get tile map we'll just call it T, or tile map, lowercase, that works, equals get tile map. I'll pass in name. Glad I created that method already. And can you do tile map clear? Clear all tiles. Okay, so we should get a couple extra buttons here. Clear ground, clear walls. So now I can do that. Clear the ground out of it. I don't know why I would. Let's just in a big one. Okay, we got this great big one. Let's clear the ground then. Go for a smaller one and knit. Don't know why I would need to do that, but I can, right? And the most wonderful thing about this is I can take this, duplicate this, right? And call this second one, this duplicate, not desert. We'll call it I don't know, forest dungeon, right? And then go over to our inspector here and just start changing which tile it is. So let's test this out. Let's make sure I'm right in this. So let's lock this inspector. It is good. This one's already locked as well. Let's go to our tile map here. Let's go to the mine instead. And let's set this up as our walls, right? Just for testing. So we're going to set this one to be the north top. You are locked. There we go. Right. I'm trying to remember this. So there's this one. We are on the wrong one. That would have not been good. Let's go back down here. It's scripts, scriptable objects, dungeon rooms, forest. Now lock on you. There we go. Tile map. This. Okay, so now we've got that piece for the mine. Okay, that's enough, right? So our top wall will look like this instead of the dungeon now. So if I go to my scene, unlock all this junk. And instead of using this one, this desert template, we use our scriptable objects, forest, init, and our top wall is a mine shaft. That's gonna be so handy. I could see me creating a lot of these kind of things. I'd love it if there was some way that I could, say, select a game object and use it as my positioning in the thing. It's going to make my tile to return more complicated, right? Because it's not going to be just... Or is it? No, it's not. I can shift it in the position based on the game object we have selected. Or some let's say we did something different, right? I put in some X and Y starting or origin position, right? On this as well. If I could do that, is there a... There's probably not a on GUI for these, is there? There is, but it's that. It's not a gizmos. I don't think there's an on private draw gizmos, but I could create a special game object that has a script on it. Or could I draw in this scene view based on the coordinates over here? There's a callback for the scene when it draws, I know. So Andrew, if you're still there, if you remember that video I sent you, he ended up drawing in the scene view a cursor when he was using that Xbox controller, so he knew where his Xbox controller was looking to interact with the game object. Like, he could build a level with his Xbox controller. He programmed it all in to the editor. Because what I'm thinking here is, you know, this is to initialize the whole room, right? So we clear this, boom, we got a whole room. I could set up another button here that says draw a staircase. Draw this, draw that, like these custom objects that take several tiles across several tile map layers. I don't know, guys. I'm very happy with what I did. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching all this. Because I don't know what else to do. Like, for tonight, I think I might be good. Yeah. So, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Let's see who has a trade. Below the Stone, are you actually still streaming? It says you're streaming for me. Let's track. No, it's lying to me. My raid thing's lying. Woo. Lord Smooches, what are you doing? You're playing a game? Oh, you're done streaming? You're just now done streaming, aren't you? Let's go raid Leyland. or Leland. Okay, so I got that all set up. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, right? I'm pumped. I'm probably gonna do a lot. Unless something happens with the family and we're not able to stream, but we'll be building rooms, I guess. So catch you later, everybody.